let already start. We have people connected online, so already, so I don't want to go over time, but this meeting is going to be a long day, and it's back to presentation and panels. So hello again to welcome to Bucharest. On behalf of ENISA marketing, present here today as well. So today is the first day of BCC2024, hosted by DNSC, and many thanks to DNSC and team for hosting us in this beautiful location. That is in my hometown actually, so I hope you enjoy Bucharest while being here. And a nice weather, which is atypical for this time of the year actually. And also it's co-organized with ECCC, Dr. Luca TAGLIARETTI and his team as well, so many thanks for your support as well. And this is one of the kind events that ENISA never, to my knowledge, never did before, co-organizing such a big event with two major organizations involved in cybersecurity. On one hand, DNSC, which is the national cybersecurity here in Bucharest, Romania, and also ECCC, the European Cybersecurity Competence Center. So just to start briefly to get into the business, I'm going to open the introductory keynote sessions. And welcome to the stage Hans VRIES, our CEO of ENISA. Welcome, Hans. Dr. Luca TAGLIARETTI, the Executive Director of ECCC. Welcome. CIMPEAN, the Director of the DNSC. Welcome. And Lajos, the Director of the National Cybersecurity Center, Hungary. Thank you very much for joining us. So, gentlemen, please take the floor, and I will go on the other side of the horizon to help you with the whole setting, with the slides. So, yeah, thank you very much.
I think I'll just wait till the slide comes up. I'm really proud to be here for the third day with DNSC organizing this, and I'm extremely proud to being here with both Luca and Lajos to talk about cybersecurity and the things we do to start off this certification, the resilience and market conference part. So, yeah. Can I have the next one, please? Yeah, I just talk a little bit about what we're doing and why it's so important. We all work for a trusted and cybersecure Europe. We have to do that together with all of us, the EU bodies, the manufacturers, the authorizing and conformity assessment bodies, the service providers, testing labs, and everyone else. We have to work together to make sure that what we do and what we produce is going to be usable, safe, and as some of you have heard, safe by design, safe in such a way that we can work with it for a longer time than only a few days. So our aim is to strengthen this trust in the system and trust in the connected economy. So we have to boost resilience for not only the technical environment, but for the social environment as well. So that's really important. And therefore we can have to structure and support the union's infrastructure a lot more than we currently do. Can I have the next slide, please? So in 1993, we started the EU single market. And it's really an important place to start off, because we want to make sure that there is a secure environment to use organizations. So as I speak as a consumer of all the products in the world, I need to be able to use them in such a way that I know that it's safe to use. And safe is not only because it doesn't explode in my hand, but also safe like a lithium battery that sometimes really has a problem, but also because I know that inherently the document is protected against cyber attacks or anything else. So we have to really focus on that a lot more than we do now. So currently we're working on high cybersecurity products for the digital elements placed on the single market. That's the thing that we're focusing on. And the CRA will come in because it's mandating the cybersecurity as a requirement for market access. That will change the process. And it went into force at 24, and the producers, manufacturers need to be aligned and in line by 2027. So that's really an important step. Next one. This, yeah, thanks. So if you look at the CRA regulation itself, the main goal of it is to make sure that we are creating and building the cyber resilience from the start. And that will take a while to organize that, but we do that. This is helpful. That makes it more fluid, right? So you have to look at the standards, certification, but also guiding documents. And on your chairs, there are some documents with some codes you can scan, you can trust them, about the document that we produce as ENISA that I think are helpful within these times of years about what we see and what we do. And one of the things out of the CRA that's an intriguing part that was added was that there's going to be a EU single reporting platform for vulnerability notification. So vulnerability notification sounds a bit strange, but it's about making sure that we know which vulnerabilities are there so we can also press to make sure that they're going to be solved. It's really important. So we will play an important role from that. And I used to be the director of the National Cybersecurity Center in the Netherlands for 9 years, so we've played an active role in that sense on making sure that vulnerabilities are taken care of, and I will definitely help ENISA in achieving that for the coming years. Now about market, so I'll keep it short. We have to make sure that we gather the best practices for cybersecurity, cybersecurity requirements, and to make sure that what we have in use is the best in the market and the best in the EU market to use. So we will have a role to monitor that, to evaluate that, and analyze the cybersecurity risk of products. So after that, Luca and I can talk about, okay, how are we going to procure that mechanisms, and how do we create the level of trust and possibilities for companies to actually create a next level of security within Europe. And I think that's really important because, as I stated in the beginning, we all work for a trusted and cyber-secure Europe, and that's my statement today. Oh, I missed that one, sorry. Thanks.
It's already me? Okay, I don't know if I want to. Very good. So thanks, Corina, for the organization. Of course, it's nice that you put us directly after ENISA, because we really see the link between the work that ENISA is doing and the work that we do at the ECCC. So it's more like, as Hans say, they think about the what to do, and we think about how to do it. So our role is supporting the implementation of the regulation in the single market to protect our digital space. So I apologize for the SCC colleagues who know exactly what we do. Maybe I repeat a little bit, at least, what is our role in the protection of the single market. The ECC has basically two roles in this space. One is to do the how, so set the strategy to make sure that the regulation is implemented in time, to make sure that there are funds in the market for that, to make sure that we have the competencies and that we have the skill transfer also at European level. So the main document or the main driver of this how is the strategic agenda. It's a document that we do every 2 years. It's now published on the website until March 2025. The strategic agenda really say what is our roadmap, where do we want to invest funds in the 2-3 years of the validity of the agenda, what are the priorities, what do we need to focus first. And so how to create a cogent link between research, needs, and implementation. So the first document is the strategic agenda. The second element is the, so make money for this, enable the community, enable the market to have enough funds and resources, and we do through investment. So yesterday I mentioned in another panel, from the beginning of the ECCC, we have around 500 millions already invested on a range of things. So from 5G to 6G, 5G to skill, to maritime, to transportation, to health. But if before the panel I look at how much we actually invested in the implementation of the CRA, which is one of the key legislation that we took today, and we have invested around 60 million, so not so much. Another 10-15 millions in the NIS2 preparation. So this is something that we'll definitely see growing in the future. But the priorities so far, so around 10% of the investment were done on the implementation or support of the implementation of the CRA, of the resilience. A lot more will come, but maybe we'll come back to this at the end. The priorities are so diverse. So we priority on political level, we have priority coming from the industry and the market, we have priority coming from the geopolitical situation that we are living, so it's not easy to provide funds for everything. We need to act a bit as a catalyst. Whatever we put into the market need to help the industry to grow. So first is the strategic agenda, second investments again are we're now preparing for the 25-27 new budget, and we have to decide whether we want to invest more on research, implementation of research, quantum and AI, or whether we want to invest on resilience of the market. So we're trying now, this is the discussion which is going on at the board level on how we balance this priority. The third element of our action is once we have a policy, once we decide which part of the market we want to support, how do we ensure that everyone benefits from it? And this is the idea of the community. The community is really the place where we want to contact everyone, make sure that all the players in Europe have received the skill, have received the information, they do best practice, they learn from each other, they learn also to share technology to make sure that whatever we make available is available for everyone. In 2025, we will now, as I say, the new agenda will focus, well, the latest numbers, let's say the number one priority will still be research. We want to make sure that we link the research in AI and quantum in the development of technology usable by the industry. Another big element which also will contribute to the overall resilience of the European Union, especially the critical infrastructure, will be the creation of these so-called cross-border hubs or super hubs. This will be, for those who are not familiar, is a new legislation of the Union, the Cybersecurity Act. This legislation requires the ECCC to build, together with the member state, a number of cross-border hubs, really big, which will act a bit as a collector of early warning from the private hubs, from the hubs of the industry, from the across Europe, collect early warning, act as a filter, and share the information across European countries. So this will really be a turning point in how we want to protect our critical infrastructure. This will be done together with ENISA. ENISA will be responsible for the ex post, so once we get an attack, how we respond. This will be the role of the Cyber Reserve, but the ECCC, together with the member state, is responsible for setting up and will also own 75% of these SOCs for a few years. Now, this morning we were discussing with some colleague of the of the NCC, how the concept of resilience has changed. So once we understand that an attack is always, and Dan, I think you mentioned the opening panel, is not a matter of what, but it's a matter of when. I mean, not a matter of if we get an attack, but it's a matter of when we get an attack. Now, once this is part of, we understand how do we make sure that whatever we receive, we are prepared and we react in a way that we immediately restore our critical infrastructure. So this is the idea of prevention and early reaction that the Cyber Solidarity Act has. The fourth priority will be on overall resilience, so implementation of NIS, implementation of preparation of the Cyber Resilience Act, the DORA, and so on. So we have a number of legislation. The European legislators have been very active in the past. Now we need to make sure that this become a reality, they are implemented. And we will also particularly focus, again, on when we talk about critical infrastructure, will be mainly focused, or particular, at least in 2025, to the health sector, hospitals, clinics, pharmaceutical company. This is a critical part of our society. So we need to ensure that they are ready for facing whatever attacks are coming. And the last will be more on, and as we move to more complex geopolitical situation, the hybrid part. So how do we have dual-use technology? First of all, how do we define what is for us and for the defense sector a dual-use technology? This will be the first step. And how do we create funds and common research in this sphere? So I think this is our contribution to the overall resilience of the European digital market, European Union. We take it from one angle, ENISA take from another one, and then it's nice to see what the national member states do in Hungary and Romania, because it's part of a really coordinated effort in which everyone needs to play its own role. Thank you.
With your permission, I'm Dan, the director of the Romanian Cyber Directorate. I speak now, of course, in this role. I have two other hats, and you see them on the screen. And I'm incredibly proud to be a member of the board of ECCC and member of the board of ENISA. Very tough and difficult to say something nice and cool after Hans and after Luca, but I will try to top up. You know, I had a reflection because I was kindly asked to speak, and I'm so glad that, and honored that ECCC and ENISA asked me to join this panel to talk about achievements in new cybersecurity. And looking at the panel, I reflected, I say, gosh, we have here, including myself, very humble, do you realize that you have here 100 years of professional experience in cyber, serving the European Union and member states in one way or another? This is a sample. Look at the group here and think about your colleagues of yesterday and day before yesterday, and about many, many, many others that happened during the European Cybersecurity Month. Many such events, many. That's achievement, that's strength, that's capacity.
And we're still young, so.
Me too. Thank you. Now, I want to talk to you about three points, three topics. The first of them, it's ENISA and ECCC. In my opinion, these two European bodies, one center and one agencies, are obviously, if you look at macro level, probably, I choose carefully my words, probably the biggest achievements, of course, I have to sell my merchandise, cyber, the biggest achievements of the European Union. It's absolutely fundamental, and we don't realize how important it is to have these two bodies up and running and delivering. And I will insist a bit more on ECCC, because yesterday it was a super great opening, and congratulations Luca and the team for this. inauguration of the official headquarters of ECCC, but the amount of work ECCC succeeded to deliver and the amount of results in such a short time with, mind you, extremely, but extremely limited resources. There are not thousands of people. There are a handful of people. I think most of them around in the room. And please visit their booth and talk to them and talk to Luca, but it will be impossible because everyone wants to talk to him. So the amount of achievements this center did, and I speak as a member of the board, I know what I'm talking about, I hope. I see the figures, I see the minutes, I see the reports. It's absolutely unbelievable. And it's not only the fact that they got up and running, and since February when Luca effectively joined the team here physically in Bucharest, was getting up to speed. So it's getting faster and faster and faster to an extent that we, the member states, we almost need to catch up, to put some effort in order to get there. And all this comes in parallel with the systematic, disciplined, and very broad scope that ENISA does. And we all benefit from that as well. We see it, and Hans was showing us some of the key topics they are working on. And very important, none of them is working in isolation. And this is something me as the member state I appreciate the most. It's close consultation with us. We are constantly asked to be part of work groups, to chair work groups, and we are not volunteering enough, honestly. That's a criticism for the member states in the room. Guys, be a lot more active. We want from them results, and we want them to deliver with reasonable budgets and small teams, but we need to be active there. We need to allocate resources. It's our own investment in those two bodies. So all in all, as board member in both of them, I'm happy and pleased about how it's working. I truly hope to continue, and in particular for ECCC, Luca and the team, you can get reassured about our full support from Romania. So we'll put the entire strength and power of our entire ecosystem behind you. And not only us, all the other member states, I'm absolutely sure. Now, second point, I gave some reflection about what is there in terms of capacity and capabilities at EU level. Because we are very proud, and you heard yesterday, day before, and you will hear today as well, member states, organizations saying, we did this and we did that, through that. But it's important to take a step back and reflect on what collectively we achieved, what kind of capabilities we have. And some of them were mentioned, joint reaction forces, and projects that focus on next generation of tools and tackling one topic or another in one way or another, but in collaborative way, which is very, very important. So in cyber, don't forget, not only capabilities, so skills, knowledge, tools, and stuff like that matters, but capacity. It's also volume. You need manpower, you need headcounts, you need to have a certain number of experts available and ready, steady, and trained, and ready to deliver, and ready to step up and intervene. So, and I speak mainly now to the private organizations in the room. We optimize and we automate and we use AI to accelerate and to prioritize our incidents and to help us to take faster and better decisions. While we still need to invest in headcount. We still need to have the numbers of experts available, ready, steady to deliver. It's a cost through that, but it's a good investment. So if you look at European level, I'm very happy to see that we are growing in size, in numbers, and I see the level of ambitions of the member states. They all want to grow. You may know or not, but the Romanian Cyber Directorate, after we restructure on paper because we didn't fire people, we still have a headcount, 1,063 staff members. We're not there yet. We just started hiring and probably will never get to 1,000. But we try to hire 50, 60, 100 a year and onboard them and get capability and capacity on board. So remember, you need headcount as well. Then the third point, and I will be a bit longer on this, I wanted to make you reflect about another important achievement, and I see a lot of people in the room, and I will name only two of them. I didn't ask for their permission, but I will name them. I see two people that actually work between private sector, governments, back and forth, and that's very important. I will name them Peter Kirkov, it's in the room here, and Dr. Massimo Felici. So two people that I work with directly when we were in a previous life in private business, that know very, very well both worlds. And that's very important. And one big advice, and I think that's a great achievement, we succeeded as EU, as community, to keep close our experts. And we need to do it more and more and more. And we should not be afraid to get on board people that come from a completely different domain, from a completely different mindset, completely different organizational culture, because all of them, each and every single of them, it's value. And here, honestly, almost everyone I discussed was praising the ENISA cybersecurity skill set tool, and we're using it, and we take it as a standard and as a benchmark. Because, as I said, building capacity and capability, skills, but we need to reflect very, very cautious and very careful what kind of skills, what kind of experts we need. I didn't say by accident 100 years of experience here. We are maybe at the top of our career. But I'm very concerned, and I'm really concerned about what's coming next. How the next generation of cyber professionals, the ones that are now in high school, in university, how they will look like, how they will work together. Will they succeed to cooperate? Because they have everything. They have all the tools. They should be able to work between themselves at least as good as we do today. We're more traditional with boards and committees and work stream and work groups and stuff like that. Now it has changed a lot. We all know it since a couple of years in the pandemics. It's virtual. It's on Zoom and Teams and Skype, and we tend to talk to the chatbot, not to the colleague. So when we have to achieve now something, we have to make sure we don't lose everything that we did right, and we did a lot of things right so far at EU level in particular, but to get very, very, very fast on board all the young generation and all their new ways of acting, delivering, and working. And one last point, I promised it will be 3, but will be 4. I'm really proud that many operational models of national agencies, national competent agencies in European Union are good models, good blueprints for friends, colleagues, allies, and like-minded countries from other regions, from other geographies. And we should not neglect the role we have to showcase the best practices and how good European countries do in this context. And we should keep very, very close to our friends from other geographies. They are doing a good stuff, we are doing good stuff, and one of the risks I see here, and now I look at Hans and Luca, is that while doing a pretty good job at European Union level, we may forget to stay in contact and be a lot more active, and we have to find the ways, of course, everything that is in line with the rules and so on, but be a lot more active and a lot more interactive with others from other regions. And personally, and my team, we are strongly encouraging that. We need to open up a lot more our work groups, our deliverables, our projects, our everything, wherever is possible, of course, to friends, colleagues from other geographies, whether they are in particular EU candidate countries, and it's obvious who am I talking about. We absolutely need to do that, or like-minded countries, all the democratic world, all the civilized world. We must share. We are sharing a lot between us as a big achievement. We shall do this more and faster and better with others as well. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. Yeah, I got the presentation. So, yeah, it's only the, it's here, okay. So it's a great honor to be here, and thank you very much for the invitation, and I would like to talk about a mission that I think matters very much nowadays. The mission is to build the resilience to achieve and to have a secure future. And I think as our world becomes more and more interconnected, okay, it works. So our ability to withstand and bounce back from cyber threats is more crucial than ever. Cyber resilience is the backbone of our economies and the shield for national security and the bedrock of a stable society. And I think cyber resilience isn't just about preventing attacks, it's about ensuring that we keep moving forward. And no matter what, we have to keep moving forward. And while cybersecurity focuses on stopping threats, I think cyber resilience that goes further. It's about adapting, about recovering and staying strong no matter what. It's about building strength into every layer of our organizations, nations and lives. We live in an era where threats have no boundaries and are constantly evolving. As our technology reshapes our world, we need to be ready for both expected and unexpected challenges. Today I will share 4 guiding pillars for resilience. One is collaboration, second is education, third is technological innovations, and the fourth is the human factor. Together, I think we can lay down the groundwork for a future that is not just safe, but prepared, adaptable, and resilient. And let's combine our strengths and create a digital world where innovation and security thrive side by side. The threat landscape has changed significantly over the past few years. Cyber attacks are becoming more and more sophisticated, with adversaries developing new techniques and that can bypass traditional security measures. Nation-state actors, APTs, have become key players in this domain, leveraging significant resources to launch targeted attacks for espionage, disruption, and even to undermine the critical infrastructures of other nations. Another area of concern is supply chain vulnerabilities. Organizations increasingly rely on third-party vendors for various services, and attackers exploit this trust to breach the systems indirectly. This has made supply chain attacks one of the most devastating methods, often bypassing direct defenses. Lastly, the persistence of ransomware cannot be ignored. That began as a nuisance and has now evolved into a sophisticated and organized criminal enterprises. Ransomware attacks have surged, often crippling organizations and forcing them to either pay hefty ransoms or risk losing critical data. As cyber threats grow, so must our defenses. New technologies are now essential in building cyber resilience. AI and machine learning are advancing threat detection, analyzing massive data in real time to spot patterns and anomalies, signaling potential attacks. These AI-driven systems improve detection speed, accuracy, helping prevent breaches. The adoption of zero-trust architecture is also reshaping network security. Instead of trusting users and devices, in the network. Zero Trust verifies each and every access attempt, and for all the devices and authenticated users that want to get in. So this trust nothing and verify everything approach is vital, I think, especially considering as the remote work expands. And lastly, more businesses rely on cloud services, and cloud security has become crucial. Providers are embedding resilience features like advanced backup and disaster recovery. Confidential computing is evolving, and organizations, and I think organizations still need strong controls to keep these systems secure. In parallel with the technological advances, regulatory frameworks are evolving to reinforce cybersecurity. NIS2 directive, for instance, is designed to bolster cybersecurity across critical sectors by requiring better risk management, incident reporting, and cross-border cooperation. NIS2 encourages organizations to prioritize resilience rather than compliance. To support NIS2 implementation, Hungary introduced a new Cybersecurity Act last year, which establishes a legal framework for the NIS2 implementation. And this act required private organizations subject to NIS2 to register with Hungary's Supervisory Authority of Regulatory Affairs and implement specific security measures by 18th of October. And all of these companies must contract independent auditors by the end of this year and must complete with the first cybersecurity audit by the end of next year. And also I should mention GDPR. GDPR has been long with us, and its mandatory breach reporting within 72 hours has already driven organizations to improve incident response protocols, boosting data protection and resilience. And supply chain security, it's growing in the regulatory focus. New frameworks now push companies to ensure that vendors meet strict cybersecurity standards, closing critical vulnerabilities in today's interconnected environment. So no matter how advanced our technologies or regulations are, the human factor still remains key to achieving true cyber resilience. One of our greatest challenges is now the skills gap. There simply aren't enough trained cybersecurity professionals in the world, and it's not in Europe, it's in the world. So it's a key to close to, or at least to trying to close this gap. So training, upskilling, recruitment, these are essentials to bridging this gap. To address this, the National Cybersecurity Center in Hungary is partnering with universities, research institutions, and industry to offer specialized cybersecurity programs in areas like threat intelligence, incident response, and secure development. And NCSC also hosts events like the Hungarian Cybersecurity Challenge, where top young talents compete, and the best are selected to represent Hungary at the European Cybersecurity Challenge. And in line with the European Cybersecurity Skills Framework, we are collaborating with academia to embed these goals into national legislation through NIS2. And also Europe's Cybersecurity Skills Academy also aims to boost the cybersecurity workforce. And to support this effort, Hungary recently co-hosted the Cybersecurity Skills Conference with ENISA last month. Cybersecurity awareness is also critical. Programs teaching employees to recognize phishing, secure devices, and follow protocols, reduce human error, one of the leading causes of the incident. That has always been one of the leading causes of cybersecurity incidents. And to support continuous learning, NCSC publishes regular articles, alerts, hosts a podcast series on cybersecurity, and lastly, incident response teams, CSIRTs, are essential in the front lines, where their training and readiness can mean the difference between a minor issue and a serious breach. Ensuring they have the right tools and support is crucial to our corrective resilience. Achieving resilience isn't it without its challenges. Budget constraints often limit resources, especially in smaller organizations, leaving cybersecurity teams asked to do more with less. I think that really opens the defense gaps. Another hurdle is balancing security with operational efficiency. Security measures are sometimes seen as obstacles to productivity, but Finding a middle ground, finding a common ground is essential for ensuring both security and smooth operations. Legacy systems present our additional challenges. Outdated technologies are often more vulnerable and difficult to secure, yet replacing them can be costly and time-consuming. However, upgrading these systems is often necessary to ensure true resilience. To address these challenges, NCSC has deployed many custom-made systems, like we have a honeypot system in various government IT infrastructures, this system collects data revealing IOCs, intrusion methods, and emerging attack threats. And we also offer automated vulnerability detection system to our clients that monitors internet-facing websites and performs regular vulnerability scans on government services. It is not a full penetration testing, but also helps organizations proactively address vulnerabilities. So how do we move forward? The answer lies in constant improvement and constant adaptation. Cyber resilience isn't a one-time effort. It's a continuous process that evolves with emerging threats. Regular updates to technology, to policies, and training are essential. Collaboration is a key, as I said it earlier. Partnering with external organizations, industry groups, and government strengthens resilience. There are no borders and boundaries when we talk about cyber threats, and our defenses should reflect this interconnected reality. To foster this linkage, Hungarian NCSC actively participates in EU bodies like CSIRT Network, Cyclone, the NIST Cooperation Group, the Horizontal Working Party for Cyber Issues, and in late September we hosted these groups in Budapest under the Hungarian EU presidency. Our collaboration with ENISA is also very strong, I think. As I mentioned earlier, we co-hosted the Cybersecurity Skills Conference, and we will help organizing the 9th e-health security conference next week in Budapest, together with the SZABÓ Medical University. And I think, finally, resilience must be part of an organization's culture and strategy. It's not just an IT issue. Leadership must prioritize and invest in it, ensuring every team member understands their role in maintaining cybersecurity. And as a conclusion, achieving cyber resilience, it's a continuous journey, one of that blends technology, skilled people, and strategic focus. We must stay vigilant, we must stay adaptable, we must collaborate in the face of moving threats, and embracing new technologies, advancing regulatory frameworks, and adopting resilient-first mindset, we can build organizations that not only withstand cyber attacks, but also thrive in the digital world. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your very inspirational speeches. And I think it resonates very well what we're trying to do today. And you will find a lot of ideas on what is coming next. The regulation about the regulatory framework and the implementation, what we can call the implementation of regulation in practice, let's call it this way, or the box. And then the power of engagement and cooperation between the stakeholders, and I think that was an idea that was also resonated yesterday and the day before, and we also heard Dan speaking about that as well, and Hans de Vries about the power of engagement with the key stakeholders. We also have the ideas of the role of research and innovation in support of this, and we will have a full panel dedicated to that. And not the least, this engagement with the other stakeholders, such as the, let's say, the trade unions, the industry associations, many of them are based in Brussels. They are also a factor, kind of, to build the building blocks for in order to enhance resilience. And before we jump into the first panel, which is about the regulatory framework, what you always wanted to know, but never dared to ask about what is actually this very important thing. I would like to open the floor for some questions and answers if you would like to ask our esteemed panelists here. If anybody dares to ask a question. No question, Apostolos? Yeah.
Yep.
We have a mic going around, so yeah.
Use your voice.
Just wondering, in terms of development of cyber skills, I've noticed that there's a lack of entry-level jobs in cybersecurity. And we want to train people, we want to have more people who are trained in cybersecurity and who are experts. But for this, I think we need entry-level jobs to start with. So is there any sort of action that you guys are taking in this direction? Because I've heard about university courses, but what does it matter if at the end of university people can't really get a job in the field because there's no entry-level jobs?
Well, personally, I think we have to start even lower. We have to start with children between the years 8 and 12. And there are many different programs out there. One of the programs that I know of and really like is called Hack Shield, because it's like a digital game for children to really understand what are the dangers, but also the possibilities of cybersecurity and cyber, the IT and stuff. So if you want to check out Hack Shield, is really an interesting part. So that's one part that we focused on in the Netherlands, and that the program is also already used in, I think, in Germany, in Brazil and others. So it's really interesting to see evolving that. So that's one part. So you have to have education also in middle schools. So you need not only the master, but also the basics steps as well. So on every level, you have to focus on that. Are we ready for this? No. I agree with that. So there's a lot more to be done. So the skills framework helps to show the competences of what we need in certain jobs and certain perspectives. But we definitely need a lot more for this. And for you all out here, have you ever thought of giving classes to the high schools or yourselves, like you're sitting here right here? So I see a hand who does that. That's really insightful, because it will bring back the questions that they are working on and they're thinking of, and we're working on all kinds of difficult issues, but they're working on, can I trust this WhatsApp? What is two-factor authentication in earnest, and how can I help my grandparents to actually turn it on? So there are so many different things out there that we need to focus on. So your question is quite right. We don't have all the answers, but we definitely have to put all the pieces together to create that puzzle.
And let me also react on that, because I think I talk about partnering with universities and high schools, especially in Hungary, regarding the European Skills Framework. But European Skills Framework, I mean, this initiative is not only partnering with high schools and universities, and I think hence you can confirm that all these global training organizations like ISACA and ISC2, they also want to embrace and incorporate these initiatives of the European Skills Framework. And with these things, with these training organizations, they offer trainings that can be entry-level trainings for entry-level cybersecurity jobs. They don't need higher education to enter in the job market when they, do these courses after doing those courses.
Allow me 10 seconds to say something. Lack of entry-level jobs, yes, I can confirm. I discussed with business leaders and asked them how many openings you have for juniors. They don't like juniors, but nevertheless, not that many. Everyone wants super senior, experienced in 25 years of AI. Come on, AI was not there 25 years. honestly, a lot of job descriptions I've seen, they are not job description for one person, it's for one department. So here, honestly, if we will all put up our CVs and apply for those jobs, including people in this room, maybe we may fail. HR may reject our CV because we are not enough qualified and certified and whatever. So I think business leaders in the very first place, and I know IT managers, CISOs, everyone that deals with tech and cyber and digitalization in their organization, they want the best of the best at a very reasonable cost, of course. You cannot have it all. You need to take risks and you need to take options, and we have to dare, as management, to give the chance to super bright, mega smart, young professionals. If we don't invest in them now, we are going to end up in our organization with a job opening for 5 years not filled in, and we are going to complain every single quarter to the board and to the top management that I cannot find people. Of course, get a junior and you may have a lot of problems, but make your risk assessment and take a decision. Do you want to have someone with good potential that you can grow and train and coach and you have to invest a lot, or have no one? So that's the way, in a very simplistic manner, many of the people, and myself, I subscribe to this, when we discuss the topic, that's the way they see it. Thank you.
And I think, you know, NIS2 implementation in all member states, I'm pretty sure that it will significantly increase the demand for young, talented professionals, and they don't have to be experts, even for, I don't know, rookies. The demand for that will be significantly increased. That's what I believe.
Thank you very much for your remarks. Very useful, very valuable. My name is Claudia German, and I represent the defense and security industry here today. And because one of the objectives or one of the themes of this discussion that we're having is ensuring cyber resilience in Europe, I was wondering, besides the fact that you also mentioned dual use / defense, how can we forge the cooperation between civil and defense? Because this will also, should be, but it will be more and more key to ensure this resilience, the cyber resilience in Europe. Thank you very much.
Well, if you look at from a EU-NATO perspective, there has to be, and there will be, very good cooperation amongst them. And that's growing currently. If you look at from, let's say, industry perspective, we know that systems, I will not say any names for products, but they will be used on both let's say, the non-defense and the defense environment, because they are used unilaterally, because they're IP packaging mechanism or their networking products and things like that. So they'll be used, and we have to make sure that the requirements for those are similar for that. So also on a procurement level, we have to reach out to each other to make sure that when there is an incident, we want to know, and from my perspective, from my previous job, but also my current job, I want to know what others think of what is happening in the situation, to create that single point of knowledge about what's actually the state of an incident or a state of a certain situation, so we can inform, therefore, the policy mechanisms which we have on, let's say, country level and on a European level, to see what we're going to do about this, whether it's cyber diplomacy or in other parts. So those lines are there. We need to strengthen them. And if ENISA can play a role in that, we would be happy to be too.
Maybe I can add something from our side. So we are well aware, and we understand the importance of this file, of this relationship. From our point of view, we need to proceed very carefully. It's a new avenues. Cannot be done in isolation, need to be part of a more coordinated response, civilian, military at the European level. So the effort from our side is now to explore what are the avenues, what are the area of cooperation, and also understand how we can proceed in the future. So this is something new for all of us. So we understand it's something that we need to explore, but we have to do it with the right pace. and will normally deal with our national counterpart, which is the body in the union which are dealing with defense.
If I can complement with 30 seconds, law and regulation matters. For example, in Romania, we have something called the Cyber Defense and Cybersecurity Law, which is a framework law, not only clarifying the role of each actor, civilian, or defense, or law enforcement, or intelligence, and so on, but it's mandating that we work together, that we cooperate, we collaborate. So probably writing somewhere a regulatory act at national level, or why not at European level, to encourage, to frame this in a better way, and to mandate that we work a lot better and a lot closer, that will help as well.
Just a quick question.
Just one final remark. If you look at incidents, they can have such a spillover effect that you really feel threatened, whether it's on a personal level or organizational level or country level. So we have procedures for that, and currently there is we call that a cyber blueprint from the European Union. We're working on a new version together with the Polish presidency for next year. And part of that process are two important networks that ENISA is the secretariat of. And the first was the CSIRT network, so the technical CSIRTs that work together. Some military CSIRTs are in there as well. So there is a connection and we know what's happening. The second part is we call it Cyclone, which are the directors who actually deal on the national level with crisis management in their countries, and we are connected for that as well. So from a Dutch perspective, because I used to be the Director of National Cybersecurity, we would be in a room with the military intelligence, general intelligence, with the police, and with municipalities to actually oversee from a country perspective what is the incident about and what are the possibilities to deal with this. So could be able to give that back to the government, to the Prime Minister and others, other ministers, about what are the options that they had. So we were fully in that process. We have to make sure that there is a similar process in Europe as well.
And just a very quick comment on that, and thank you, Hans, for mentioning the blueprint. And the Hungarian presidency is now trying to lay down the groundwork for that blueprint, and then then the Polish presidency continues that on handling large-scale cyber incidents, and as I can share you the example from Hungary that we continuously collaborate with military. I mean, joint exercises, for example, we are participating in NATO exercises, although our organization is non-military. So collaboration, cooperation is a key, and also Cyclone, the blueprint. I think on European level, we pretty much focus on these things.
Thank you very much. I think that was another question over there, very quick one, please. And another one over there as well.
I'll try to be very short. Apart from guidelines and regulation, I'm talking about government and state institution. And we sometimes connect to European level servers and stuff like that. Is possible to have training sessions or courses, especially for IT departments that use these shared resources? I mean, in order to avoid, for instance, an incident, to ask the DNSC or the others to help us if we have an attack, to have local IT guys very well prepared for facing this kind of threats. Thank you.
I'm trying to understand your question. There are systems that are being used on a European level, and let's say some of them are in the EU IBOS, so the EU institutions, and so CERT-EU certainly, but that's from a EU perspective, so it's not companies, but it's from government perspective, EU government perspective. There are trainings run through CERT-EU and things like that. So from a national perspective, we just did a large Cyber Europe exercise just this year, and we use a system for that, and people can use that, and there are trainings for that as well. So I know those two. but I'm not really familiar. I'm still young within the job that I do. I'm not really familiar with the other new systems and techniques that are being used across Europe that were provided by governments for systems and usage. So I can't answer that in full detail.
Yeah, maybe I can add 2 words. The Cyber Solidarity Act has one mechanism of mutual assistance between states. So this is already part of this idea that in case of both an attack but also preparedness, there is this mutual support. And also there is, as the creation of the Cyber Reserve, which has exactly the role of supporting a member state after a cyber incident. So this to exist in the Cyber Solidarity Act is also possible, of course, for a member state to request support from either through us or through ENISA to the right channel.
That's it, I think.
Yeah. I think it was somebody else over there. Please, go ahead.
Thank you very much for this presentation. My name is Victoria Delia Bunceanu, and I am student now in a PhD at CNSPA. I have a question, or maybe 2 questions for you. First of all, a comment. The development of new technologies and the implementation of the regulations, I speak about European regulations, are not the same. We have a distance between the implementation of the regulations and the infrastructure we have in all the member states. In this case, is prepared in your opinion, the European Union to face all the threats, hybrid threats? We have a hybrid war next to Romania, and of course, the lack of preparation of all the data subjects, and I speak now about the GDPR and VRIES, they are not prepared to face the fake news, the hybrid threats. In this case, what is your opinion about, I said, about how prepared are the European Union, and I speak about Union, okay, to face all that? Thank you.
Well, but my first answer is that we, as ENISA, from the NIS2 directive, there is an Article 18 which states that we create, from ENISA perspective, a European view on the state of cybersecurity. That report is ready. It will be published somewhere beginning of December. The first thing we do is we're going to report that document to the European Parliament, and before that I cannot talk about the inside, because we have to report it to the European Parliament first. But we did an exercise, a full exercise together with all the member states, putting in questions and answers and all kinds of information. We have quite a view of the state of cybersecurity in the Union. So having said that, we will, no matter what country it is, no matter what society you're in, you're never able to deal with all the incidents that come to you. So you have to be resilient for different situations, etc. And yesterday there was a report from the Finnish, I think, Prime Minister, that was given a report to Ms. von der Leyen. And if you look at that, resilience is really the next step forward, because there will be incidents, you have to deal with them. And I think that together with the Draghi report, and then, I forgot his name, sorry, it was, for me, as a Dutch person, a very difficult name to pronounce. But that report and the Draghi report are really essential steps forward-looking of what we have to do to be more ready to deal with incidents and the bigger impact of that. Because you're talking about hybrid threats, it's not only digital. Digital is always a step towards something else. It's just, so it's a money threat, it's a nation-state threat, it's also part of a bigger plan. So it's almost always has a hybrid aspect of it.
Maybe just from my side, since we talk about the European Union, I feel I need to add something. I think it's a very existential question. Can we regulate technology? Is our model adapt to the technological evolution. I would say that we need to go through some sort of agreement at European level if we want to have something which is address the global challenge. Now, we need to, and this is not our role, is the legislator role, we need to ensure that these regulations are done in a way that they are not binding us, they don't tie our hand, but they allow to evolve with the evolution of the threats. I think the AI Act is a bit an attempt in this direction. So it's open enough for doing research, but it's binding on some of the applications which have a potential impact on the fundamental rights. So I think that's one good example. I don't have the element to judge if all the other have the same level of openness, but I think that's the way we need to do it. I mean, I don't see any other. And we also, if we talk about fake news, disinformation, the Digital Service Act is really a very powerful tool. We start now to see the effect of it. Okay, we can't, of course, fight misinformation which arrived before, but this is something which will help in the future to control the misinformation or disinformation. Is this the best solution? I don't know, but I think it's the only example at global level of an attention to how information is managed, how data is managed, how personal data is managed. So it's probably the best available. We could, of course, do better.
And I think, well, what I mentioned about resilience, the two pillars, education and the human factor, awareness raising, staying vigilant, I think those are maybe the best ways how to handle misinformation and hybrid threats. So I don't think there is a better way to do that.
From my perspective, sorry to come back again, is if something seems too good to be true, it probably is fake. So use your common knowledge, use your belly feeling about whether something sounds right, is right, etc. So if you train your kids that if they receive a WhatsApp about something and they really don't understand it, call the person himself to ask whether they actually sent that message. So if there is really a big incident, for instance, I know that with my family, we have a code word that we use to actually make sure that we definitely know who we're talking to. So you have to, that's resilience. So you have to build in extra steps to deal with the new techniques. They're great, but they have a problem as well.
Thank you so very much. I'm afraid we need to stop here because otherwise we go over time. Again, thank you for this esteemed panelists. And we start in force, and we will end in apoptosis, right?